We're live.
Woohoo! Hello, Dripping Spring.
Happy Monday.
Yes, it is.
You're going to need to see, I shouldn't start a statement like that. I should say, I think it would be great for you to do a Robin Williams impersonation when you say hello, Dripping Springs, because that would be.
Oh, I got it. Are y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Toodaloo! Remember Miss Doubtfire?
Oh my God.
I wish I
Okay.
had like a cake. No, the cleanup would have taken too long.
I'm sitting here expecting Sergeant Kronauer, which I think is what he was in Good Morning Vietnam, and you gave me Miss Doubtfire. Thank you very much.
Well,
That made my day.
yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire's just a little more lighthearted content.
Yes, very much so.
And we're also speaking to a generational difference between us. I was bred in the 90s, born in the 80s, bred in the 90s. So
Yeah.
that was my movie. Good Pretty Vietnam was not what I was watching.
Good point. Good point. I seem to. You're wise beyond your years, so I seem to forget how young you are. We'll say that. So that being the case, hey, Dripping Springs, what's up?
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Shelly Carricker's here with us already, and she
Oh,
like commented and didn't comment. She didn't say anything. She just blank
you
lined.
just wanted to know, like
Yeah,
little
she
nudge.
wanted
Like,
us to know she was there.
yeah, I love it. I appreciate anybody that tunes in. Even if
Yeah.
it's only one person.
Which movie do you love, Shelly? See, she does this every week.
It's Miss Doubtfire, obviously.
Well, it's not obvious. I'm just
What's
saying
that?
it's not obvious.
Should we gamble on our live stream?
You will win because now when you say that with Shelly, it's obviously Mrs.
Yeah.
Doubtfire. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, speaking of movies, I saw that there was some discussion on, yeah, of course. I saw that I saw that there was some discussion about trying to pick a Halloween movie for the drive-in theater. I don't know if you saw that, but anyway,
I missed
evidently
that.
they're going to have a little bit of a Halloween theme, obviously for Halloween. So if you're in Dripping Springs, be on the lookout for that. Anyway, so what's new, Miss Ashley? What's going on in your world in Dripping
Well,
Springs?
so 2 weeks ago, I cooled off for like a day and I
Good.
called that false fall.
Hmm.
And sure enough, the next day it was thick and sweaty and gross. But I think like real fall might be here. Maybe.
We can, like Erica mentioned yesterday when we walked out in the morning, that she's like, and I know another northern came or cold front came in, but she's like, yeah, you can feel the difference in the air, and it's the difference in the light. And
Yes.
we commented on every year when football starts, you can tell the lighting changes,
Hmm.
and that's kind of our favorite time of the year is the fall. So
Ooh, same, same. I hope that the folks we're chatting with and hanging out with like hung outside all day yesterday.
yeah, right.
It was gorgeous.
Yes, it was.
It was
Yes,
gorgeous.
it was. Oh, you know what? And we skipped right through this. You didn't give us the description for everybody who's joining us about what we're actually doing here. What
No, I
is the
just
weekly drip?
toodalooed.
Toodaloo!
Okay, well, let me reintroduce myself now that I've made a fool of myself. My name is Ashley Tullis, real estate agent, part time comedian, as it turns out, joined with Chris Pesek, another real estate agent and full time community enthusiast for both of us. So every Monday, we hang out for a little bit here online and we talk about what's going on in our community of Dripping Springs. If you're curious about something, drop a comment. If you have questions, we'll answer them.
Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. Now
You're
everybody,
welcome.
now it's official again.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So you commented earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. This week I am wearing a 12 Fox Beer Company shirt. If you are not familiar with 12 Fox, this is a locally owned, veteran owned company out on West Fitzhugh, kind of between Springs Road and what's the other one? McGregor.
Hmm.
So way out on West Fitzhugh, they've got a great little, I think it's 10 acres or 15 acres out there. Great little venue for hanging out. They have food trucks in at least 3 days a week and have been having a lot more live music. And I was out there, shot a little video. If you didn't see the other day, shot a little video with them, kind of drumming up some anticipation for Foxtoberfest, which is their version of Oktoberfest. If you know about beer or the German community, Oktoberfest is kind of that fall tradition around harvest, and it's full of great beer. So 12 Fox, is going to be releasing either 2 or 3 new beers this weekend. And they have got Foxtoberfest festivities pretty much all weekend, but Saturday and Sunday, the 26th and 27th, are their big days out there. And I can't put that on there, Shelley. I guess I can. They're going to have stein holding competitions, and there's a marionette that you can drink beer from, and I think you're supposed to wear lederhosen and stuff like that, and they might be having a costume contest. I'm not sure. Shelley is fired up because they're releasing a pumpkin beer, and so I guess it's 3 new beers. They're releasing their Foxtoberfest, which is Aaron corrected me, it's a Märzen style beer.
Okay.
And I had it, and it's phenomenal. It's not usually Märzens kind of stick around on me, a little bit sweet and gummy on the back. This one finished clean. It was awesome. They are also finishing up a coconut porter. It is going to have 50 pounds of toasted coconut in this thing. That is a ton of coconut, if you don't know. And then they're also going to be having a pumpkin beer that Shelley is excited about, and Aaron's wife is also excited about. She's been begging. Aaron is the brewmaster out there. He's the guy behind the beer. Joe and his wife Stacy are also other part owners, but Aaron is the beer guy, and Aaron's wife has been begging him to make this pumpkin beer. So evidently, it's pretty special. So
I have questions.
You have come on, let's go.
Okay. So it sounds like lederhosen, and do you know what it's called, the outfit that the women wear?
That's why I stopped short at lederhosen, because I don't.
It's a dirndl.
A dirndl?
A dirndl, I believe.
Okay.
And is the costume contest about like who shows up looking most German, or since it's so close to Halloween, is it like a Halloween theme?
So I might be making up the costume contest part of it, just wanting to see people show up in lederhosen and dirndls.
Oh, I'll bust out my dirndl.
But I don't know that I am. I seem to remember Joe telling me that they were going to have something for people that were dressed up.
Okay, cool.
But I think it's specifically for Oktoberfest. I don't think it's a Halloween competition at all. So if you show up in lederhosen, and a dirndl, and you are the only one there in that attire, you can yell at me because I misremembered. But I think, or you can just have fun.
Yeah, you can be the star of the place, obviously, you know.
I'm pretty sure if you're the only one showing up in that attire, the beers are going to be free. Everybody's going to buy you beer. Just going out on a limb there. I would buy you a beer if I were going to be there. And I may be there Sunday. I won't be there Saturday.
So moons ago, about 4 years ago, my husband and I actually went to Oktoberfest in Munich. So we got to experience what that festivity was like. And we went for 2 days. The first day, we didn't know anybody at the table that we sat at. It was a bunch of Italians. They didn't speak English. I didn't speak Italian. It did not matter at all, because you're all there for the same purpose. And now I'm kind of like chuckling because that experience in Munich, there was about 12 people per table section. And like, you don't want to get up and leave because you'll lose your seat. And it's really hard to find a seat. So I'm interested to see what does an Oktoberfest-esque celebration look like with like social distancing. Yeah. Knowing the folks at 12 Fox, they're all over that. And so I know it'll be like super safe and all that jazz. But one of the things that I learned from that Oktoberfest is don't stand on the table acting like you're going to chug your beer if you're not going to finish it. Ooh. Because the Germans get really mad and they throw things at you.
If you don't finish it?
Yeah. If you
do finish it, you're cool.
Oh, you get like lots of cheers. Like it's a giant tent with thousands of people like freaking out.
Aren't their steins huge?
Which brings me to my next question. How big are these steins?
The one I was drinking out of the other day, which are their Foxtoberfest, it seemed like a 20 ounce.
Okay.
A baby Stein in Germany. So definitely not huge. Not saying they don't have larger ones there, but that's just the one that had the Foxtoberfest printed on it that I was drinking out of. So,
I can't wait. Our family looks forward to Worst Fest down in New Braunfels every year.
and I was just going to say, there's no Worst Fest this year.
Yeah. So I'm so excited. Right in our backyard, we have a small token of that still happening. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking a little bit to what it's going to look like with social distancing, if you have, I don't even know what Shelly's talking about.
Oh, if you stand up on the table and like pretend you're going to check your
okay.
beer. Yeah,
Okay.
it's rude. She's absolutely right.
Which is why it goes back to her calling her Fraulein. Okay, great. Anyway, speaking back to what it's going to look like, social distance, if you've never been out to 12 Fox, Joe said he thinks they've got 100 tables, but he knows they've got 80 for sure. And these are like the picnic tables where you can fit at least 3 people comfortably on each side. So if you're going with a small group of people, you can fit 6 or 8 at a table.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these tables are spread out across the beer garden area. And it looks like there's probably at least 10 feet, if not 12 or more, in between all of the tables. So they've got a stage that kind of projects out to the beer garden. And they're going to have music going on. They're going to have 2 food trucks. So hopefully with a lot of people, there's not going to be a lot of backup in terms of ordering food. And anyway, so there's tons of social distancing, but it is kind of all in the same area.
Yeah. God bless Texas, where we like everything bigger. Of course, there's plenty of room for 100 tables. That's amazing. Check whatever it's.
Good call.
Yeah. Thanks for listening in.
No, this is my cousin. He knows.
Oh, okay. Like, I don't know him.
That's pretty good. He's watching from, well, I'll just say Dallas because I'm not sure exactly what part of Dallas he's in right now. He should be at work, William. That's probably why you're watching. That's awesome. Oh, anyway, good stuff.
Yeah. Let's talk about pickleball.
What?
Yeah, it's a real thing. Have you ever heard of pickleball?
I've heard of pickleball, but why are we talking about pickleball?
Oh,
Y'all do need to come visit, William.
You know about putt-putt golf, right?
I do know about putt-putt golf.
Did you know that Dripping is getting an extreme putt-putt golf or mini golf course?
That's right.
And pickleball?
I read that.
Yes. So the place is called Dreamland. I want to say it's opening up October 10th, maybe. So like early mid-October. Located, if Google Maps is correct, because I just kind of did some research on this.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it's located just past Arrowhead Ranch on 290 on the right, like right before you get to McGregor. Supposedly, this could be a rumor. So don't quote me on that, but that's what I heard. And I'm really excited to take in what extreme mini golf means.
I saw a picture, and I can only imagine like Happy Gilmore with the clown laughing at you and spitting your ball out. Like that's extreme mini golf. Like
that restaurant in big cities like Dick's Last Resort where you pay money for people to be rude to you.
Exactly. And I'm just trying to think how this goes over in Dripping Springs if they have alcohol and extreme golf that is obnoxious and like makes fun of you. I could just see somebody punching a clown's nose. And that somebody might be me.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any clowns involved, but there are several art installations. And that's what caught my eye with it. I believe it came from the Destination Dripping Springs Instagram, which in addition to following us, y'all should really check them out. They're also on Facebook as well. I get a lot of inside scoop on what's coming to town from Hope and Pam over at Destination Dripping Springs.
Great job.
They do. And so I was scrolling Instagram and I was like, what is this? This is beautiful. So I started digging some more, and that's when I found out there's a new joint coming to town. Our family still very much enjoys Roadrunners as well. Pretty much was that Sportsplex?
That's right by the YMCA.
Yes, right by the YMCA. And no, 12. two,
12.
Torchlight,
Sorry, I said
Rancho
290.
12. We love that place. It's so much fun. And if you ever, need somebody that talks trash while playing mini golf, my son's up for that gig. He's real good at it.
I want to play mini golf with Wyatt now, but he'll probably beat me.
No, he'll
Do,
just get real upset when he can't back up his talk.
would you like a funny story about mini golf?
Are you ready to
Oh
tell
man,
the whole internet?
I'll tell the entire internet, and my
Okay.
wife will love this because I always try to play it down. The first time my wife took me to play mini golf at Peter Pan, okay, Austin Staple, um, we started out, and I was I was messing around. I think the first hole is kind of up a hill, and I would kind of tap it up, and it would roll back. He he he, and so I was just messing around, thinking that I was going to crush my wife. So fast forward, and she beat me, I think, by 9 or 10 strokes the first time that we played mini golf, and has never ever let me live it down.
Mm.
It doesn't matter how many times I've beat her since then, which I think it's only three. But anyway, she will never let me live down. Thinking I was being nice and kind of farting around and letting her win. No, no, she crushed me. She absolutely crushed me. Oh man, William, I'm on the other side of the moon from Zach and Michaela's place. Probably an hour and 15 minutes. So, yeah, they're up in Hutto, close to Hutto High School.
I love it. We have weekly drip/family reunion.
That's right. That's right.
God
This is
help
how
me
we
if
roll.
my
That's how
chart
Pesheks
times
roll.
in.
Pesheks and Lunds and vocals.
I love
That's
it.
what happens.
I love it.
Staying on the golf theme, there's another golf mainstay that's opening back up. The driving range out on 290 towards Henley. Caroline Bradford and her husband bought it. They're busy cleaning it up, and they're going to be opening it up. I think she said October as well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that's all out in that, in the same area out there. And that's one of the issues with drip for a lot of people is there's not a lot of golf around here. I'm trying to think.
Wow,
I mean, you've got,
friend, there's a new course going in.
if you can get onto that course.
It only takes about $1 million.
Coincidentally, I know two people who would love to help you buy so that you can get into that course.
I'll be damned.
If you don't know, we're talking about Driftwood, the course across and around Salt Lick over there.
Yes, yes. Another community to maybe check out on Instagram. I believe it was Tom Fazio, the designer, was talking about it last week sometime. So if you go check out their Instagram, you can catch that, which is pretty freaking amazing. I don't know a lot about golf, but I know that this is like the best of the best, creme de la creme stuff.
It is. I've got there's some really interesting stories, and I don't know if I can tell them. I mean, you and I have been there and gotten a tour, and I've gotten a more recent tour with more of the holes. It's beautiful. The grass is pristine. It's incredible. But there's like it's a joke about the grass. I'll just tell it. They can be mad at me. So they're putting zoysia in instead of traditionally what would be Bermuda grass fairways. The greens, as far as I know, are still going to be bent grass, but they're putting zoysia in on the fairways. And there's a lot of professional golfers that are going to have homes out there, whether they're second homes or whatever. And like Ashley was saying, by the way, the price point, I think the cheapest you can get in for a home right now is about $2.5 million. You can buy a lot for about 1.2.
I thought it was like $850.
Those are way gone.
Those are sold.
Those are way gone.
Those are sold.
But the professional golfers that are out there, because nothing on tour has zoysia fairways, the driving, putting, and chipping areas, they said, have to be Bermuda grass, because for the pros, playing on a zoysia grass fairway is basically like cheating, because the grass is so tight and holds the ball up. It's like putting it on a tee every time. So for amateurs like me, it would be absolutely amazing. But for professionals, they're like, no, all of the practice areas have to be Bermuda grass so that we can actually get some practice in, because on the course, it's just going to be, it's going to be a joke for the people who are really, really good at golf. So that's beyond, I don't get it. But anyway,
Well, thank you for sharing.
yeah.
Um,
Random thoughts on our
that's how
Monday.
not a golfer I am. Did know that.
But
That's okay.
And by the way, so you know this as well. That's one of the interesting things about that entire community, which is, I'm going to make up a number, I don't know, 100 homes or so, and the golf course. The expanded Dripping Springs wastewater facility, if you don't know this, which actually is not completed. I don't even think they've started on it yet.
Mm-mm.
But they're running piping to the Driftwood golf course. The Driftwood golf course is going to use all of the wastewater produced by Dripping Springs that runs through that wastewater facility to water the common areas and yards and stuff like that. So there was a really big outcry at some point about all the waste going into Onion
Onion
Creek.
Creek.
Right. But that waste isn't going to be dumped into Onion Creek. They've got more than enough capacity to use it all there on the Driftwood golf course and that community. In fact, they would like for it to be more. So from what I understand, if the wastewater can be expanded in the future, the golf course would actually take more again, so that water does not have to be put into the creek. So very, very cool. There's a couple other courses around here that do that. Fredericksburg, Lady Bird Johnson course does that as well. So look, you're getting all kinds of golf information.
Yeah, I am. I'm not a golfer, but I'm learning a lot. I do know a little bit about that development, so I'm always interested to learn a little bit more because this area has never seen a development like this at all. So it's pretty exciting to see that go in, and just how that whole area is honestly thriving. My husband and I met at Texas State. We're both Bobcat alums, and we would make the pilgrimage over to Salt Lick. And it seemed like you were in the middle of nowhere forever, like to get out there. But now it's not out there. It's like right in the middle of so much. So I think it's pretty neat. At least it was like a year or two ago, there was a stat about Driftwood and how I don't know, it was like the state or something, for the town that size having like the 3 best restaurants or highest revenue restaurants was like, it was some weird stat. Like, when you watch football and they give you like some random stat about everybody they show on screen. I think it might have been one of those.
Sunday of the month in games that start after 5 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, exactly. It might have been one of those stats, but man, when I think about Driftwood, there's really not a whole lot out there other than restaurants right now. And, there's a winery or a brewery here or there, but that's what you go to Driftwood to do, is to eat, honestly. And now, before too long, it's more of a live and play community, which is pretty awesome.
Yep. So what are the 3? I know you've got Salt Lick and Trattoria Lucina.
Hayes City Store.
Restaurant? That's Driftwood. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I've still never been there.
When you think about Driftwood, you don't think about Driftwood being like that far.
Right. I would consider that either Wimberley or Kyle. Probably Wimberley, but okay.
And then it also kind of blows my mind that, right down the road, what I would consider Dripping 150 and Ranch Road 12, the neighborhood of Howard Ranch, Twisted X, that's Driftwood. Like, man, Driftwood is really big. Like land-wise, not population-wise, but like land-wise. On down and through like La Ventana and that area, I'm like, man, they really cover some ground in Driftwood.
They do. And you bring up La Ventana and talking about like the quirks out there. One of the other things a lot of people don't know is that La Ventana, I haven't been, Shelley. La Ventana is actually where 3 school districts come together. So there are 3 different school buses that go out to La Ventana: Dripping Springs, Wimberley, and Hayes Consolidated, which would be Johnston High School, Dahlstrom Elementary, or Dahlstrom Middle now.
Middle.
So it's that one neighborhood has kids that potentially go to 3 different school districts just because of the spot that it's located in. So pretty interesting. So if you're considering La Ventana, you got to pay attention to what part of La Ventana you're in.
Yes, unless you're into retirement age and it
Unless
doesn't
you're-
matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Yes. Man, we've really taken a turn today.
It's okay.
I have one more thing I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
My-
I've taken over today.
Oh, which is fine. My good friends, Renee and Lori, who own the rural home on Mercer Street, right across from Wells Fargo, so pretty close to that little intersection right there. They're having an antique and vintage sale this weekend. It's a mini fall festival, and I'm looking away because I don't want to screw this up. So I'm like reading their little flyer that they sent me. They're going to have Little Dripping Farm there with fresh eggs, but not just eggs from like chickens. They'll also have quail and duck eggs. The Rural Table, who used to space in there pre-COVID, is returning for one day only. Hope's Handmade Cards will be there. They have...
That's not our Hope, is it?
No, not our Hope.
Okay.
Different Hope.
Just curious.
There
Our
is
Hope.
hope. Yeah, our Hope. They'll be there as well. They bought some antiques and vintage goods from a farm or ranch here in town. So you're actually going to be able to find some vintage local goods, which is pretty cool. And Kate's Soft Serve is going to be there from 11 to 3, which is super exciting.
Have you had Kate's yet?
No, because I can't have dairy.
Oh, that's right. I haven't either. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm sorry.
But I am willing to take my son because he can have all the dairy he wants.
Just
And I might try like a little bit. Like, I think it would be totally worth it. And I was also getting some more information, and I was told they will be practicing safe social distancing and masks are required, just like everybody else right now, right?
Exactly. What time did you say?
So Kate's will be there from 11 to 3, but the whole mini fall festival at Rural Home is 10 to 5, their normal operating hours.
And is that Saturday?
Yes, it is.
Just making sure. Okay. I thought you said that, but I wasn't positive.
Yeah, no, thanks for asking. Renee and Lori, the owners, have a really special place in my heart. They're both from New York State and not too terribly far away from where my mom now resides post-retirement. She retired, left Texas after, 35 years and went back to play in the snow. So these are like my my surrogate or supplemental Yankee moms. I love them so much, and I love their business so much. I always find the cutest things in there.
I was going to make a joke about Me Too, but it's a boutique. I've been in there. It's it's really cool. I've been in there several times, and I like antique stuff, so they've got a bunch of really, really cool old stuff, but I just don't frequent boutiques for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh no, I get it. I love to just look. They have a designer that they've had for like a little bit, I would say at least 8 months, that takes different mediums and then makes the coolest lamps out of things. And I just love to go see what those creations look like, because you can't just like jump on Wayfair to buy this lamp. Like, it doesn't exist because it's one of a kind. So I really, really enjoy that. It's always changing.
I wonder if it's the same designer that has lamps out at Main Place Lighting, the Delgado's place out at 12 and Fitzhugh.
Yeah, I don't know. I've honestly never been in there. I need to, though.
Because I've seen, obviously the pipe joint lamps, with the black pipe, but also, there was one, they had bicycle sprockets and parts of motors from cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So, Rural Home. That's this weekend?
Yep, this weekend. I believe Saturday the 27th.
26th.
26th, yes, Saturday the 26th from 10 to 5. And Kate's Soft Serve Ice Cream is going to be there 11 to 3.
So you can hit that and then go drop your lederhosen on and head out to 12 Fox.
Whoop, whoop. Wait,
Perfect.
Is that's happening this weekend?
That's this weekend, Saturday,
Oh, my
Sunday.
goodness. Okay.
26th, 27th, yes.
Okay, yes. Well, I better get my dirndl to the dry cleaners and get it all ready.
You better.
Are you going to participate in the Stein holding contest?
I don't know when it is. Like I said, I won't be able to be there Saturday. I mean, it is college football season. So A&M's first home game is Saturday, and we got an invite to sit in some really nice seats, so we're not going to pass that up.
Oh, enjoy.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on this weekend. Sunday I may make it out. Hopefully I'll make it out on Sunday.
Okay, if you are there during a Stein holding contest,
I will do it.
Chris, never miss a Monday. Pesek, are you entering?
I will enter. I will enter, and I will hold our banner high.
No, you have to hold it parallel, I believe.
Oh yeah, I'd probably dump it out.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
I'm just teasing. It's not a contest I would ever fathom entering myself. So
I would if I could hold it in one hand and drink another with the other hand. Like that would be okay. I could do that.
I bet they let you do that if you'd want it. I don't know.
I hope. The longer you can hold it, the longer you could hold it because you would get drunk holding it. So you see what I'm saying? The longer you held it out, the longer you could actually keep holding it because you would just be getting drunk and you wouldn't feel it.
Yeah, but I feel like after like
logic.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 3 or 4 maybe tops.
Yeah, like games that match.
That would hurt. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, I've got a question that I want to ask that we can wrap up with.
Okay.
Okay. Since coronavirus and all this stuff has started, okay, what is the thing that you miss most about that you used to do in Dripping Springs? Or that you miss most that you used to do in Dripping Springs before?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And actually, the second you asked it, I got really teary.
Oh.
Because my most favorite thing was hugs at church.
Oh my gosh. I'm not going to say mine because it's not that good.
I miss hugs at church. God, I feel ridiculous. We've really run the gamut here from tears to Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh my gosh. And our church just started meeting in person again a couple weeks ago. We meet at the YMCA, the Foundation Church, at 10 a.m. A plug if you'd ever like to join us. And we sit with our families and kind of cluster together and we say hello, but we're all behind our masks. And I'm working on smiling with my eyes, but I am such a hugger. Like it's obnoxious. And I really, really miss hugging. Like,
yeah, I do too.
That's what I miss the most is hugging.
Okay, I'm not answering. We're just going to end with that.
Oh, thanks. Just end with me crying on the internet.
I mean, how can I top that? How can I possibly top that?
You should have just answered first.
I should have. I've learned my lesson.
Catch me off guard with a question.
I will answer anyway. God.
Please do. What do you miss the most pre-COVID, Chris?
There's a business out here that not a lot of people know about, and I'm gonna try not to screw up the name because it's got I think 2 names. It's Onion Creek Kitchens at Juniper Hills Farm, and it is do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. So the lady who owns it, her name is Sibby, and I know I'll screw her story up, but she used to be, I think she was a pastry chef somewhere, and a pretty successful one from what I understand. And a part of her retirement is she bought this farm out on, is it 165 that goes to Blanco?
Yes.
It's down there right before the big giant hill that drops off.
Oh, that view.
Yeah, it's
favorite view in the area.
Yes. And so, and Denise knows. So Sibby bought this place and built a commercial kitchen with a big area that you can sit in. And she's got cabins out there too, like an Airbnb business. But what she does is she puts on these cooking classes where you can go and either learn how to cook it, or you can do what Erica and I do, which is go there, hang out with some friends, drink some wine, and then just eat it when the people have gotten done cooking. And it's yeah, and we drink beer and wine, so yeah. The reason it came to mind is because we had a reservation that we were going to do with my parents that we were going to go to. I want to say it was in May, and it obviously got canceled. And there were a couple other classes that we were interested in, and the different types of food. Like we did a Cajun food. We did she always does a pie making class for Thanksgiving, and so there's all the like it's once a month, I believe. And we just got a card from Civi because we left our money on deposit there thinking about, the next time we could go. And she sent us a card with the deposit back in it. She said, basically just, we don't know when we're going to be able to start again. So she didn't feel good about hanging on to our money, long term. So it got me thinking that I really missed that. I mean, there's been a lot of things that have that have transpired, missing concerts and football games and basketball games and all the other little league and everything else. But that was the one that without kids, my wife and I really enjoyed, was going and hanging out with friends with Sibby and doing that. So whenever she opens again, I'm gonna talk about that again because it's a blast.
Awesome.
And the food is amazing. So anyway, it's not hugging at church.
It's for me, it's such a simple thing,
Yeah. I get it. But all right. So now that we've brought it back down with hugging at church again, then now we can leave.
Do you want to sign us off?
I will sign us off. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us again on Weekly Drip. Again, every Monday, Ashley and I are going to be here at 2:00. And during the week, if you think of something that you have questions about with Dripping Springs, either reach out to Ashley. You can message her on her Facebook. You can message me on my Facebook. You can call or text Ashley at
512-716-9193.
Or you can text or call me at 512-736-1703. And if nothing else, have a great rest of the week, a great Oktoberfest weekend. We will see you next Monday if we don't see you in town first.
Toodaloo.
All right, Denise, thank you. Hugs back to you. Air hugs. Air hugs.